series interviews. Just so you guys know, some of the tools that I use are obviously Mojo Sales and Fearless Agent. If you guys have not checked their websites out, go right now to fearlessagent.com and to Mojo Sales and see what Mojo is doing with the launch of 2.0, and now you can text message. Today, I want to introduce you. I know you've seen him all over the place, Mr. James Festini out of California. Welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
Good, Colton. Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah, hey, thanks for being on here. I'm a little sick today, so if I sound like I'm about to die, it's because I am. So don't worry about that.
All right. I can't catch it from here, can I?
Actually, it's a new strain that it's only contagious through. Start to wrap the year up. What does your business look like? Transactions, units? Are you a one-man band? Are you a team? Are you massive? Tell me about that.
Just me and my wife. That's it. My wife makes sure I have my listing presentations bound and ready to go, my contracts. So she does a lot of the paperwork on that side, but when it comes to showing up for the disclosures and all that stuff, I'm the face and she's the machine behind the background. But she's raising 4 kids and I'm raising this real estate thing. So right now my business, I got like 10, 12 things with signatures on them. Got like 10, 12 things with signatures on them, and like 6 of them are in escrow this year. I'm hoping to hit 50 sites. That would be good. And it's just, like I said, me and my wife.
How many hours a week are you working real estate sales? Because I know you got some other stuff going on too.
I got a lot of stuff going on, man. I don't even know that I work a whole lot. It's kind of weird nowadays because when you get to a certain level, you just pop in, get things done, and get out, and you get more efficient at it. Probably like you know, you can enjoy more time because you put the hours in. I would probably say 4 to 5 hours a day if we had to add it up. But
okay.
It's just when I have my cell phone in my hand, I'm working, and when I answer, I engage in the moment of real estate salesperson, and then I retract immediately and then go back to whatever it is I'm doing. And mostly if it's not calling or door knocking, then it's having fun, man.
So let's go ahead and look at that. What does your schedule look like as far as, because you do prospecting calls, door knocking? What are you doing to generate leads?
My schedule, usually I try to wake up at 5 a.m., but it usually ends up about 7 every day. I've had my alarm clock go off at like 5 a.m. for the past 20 years, and it still won't work. I just got to stop fighting the power.
You got to start it. You got to set your alarm at 3 a.m. so you're up at 5.
It annoy me earlier. That's all. So I get up about let's say 6, 7 a.m. Work out, and then I go from there to hang out with the kids, take the kids to school, have some breakfast, get in, do the 3 S's, shit, shower, and shave, and then get to the office. I'll go in, and it usually takes me about 15 or 20 minutes to set up. I have a very elaborate dance of contact management software: Mojo, Mojo, Land Voice, Follow Up Boss, Top Producer. And of those, I focus heavily on Mojo. Mojo is my primary CRM, and everything goes in Mojo. But to get it from these different sources, they don't all dance well together, to check the emails, who's been responding, who's been watching Market Snapshot. So it usually takes me about 30 minutes to kind of just, I call it fondle my database, just to kind of see things as they come in. So when they pop up, it's like, oh, that's the one. And I have almost a photographic memory because I've been massaging it for so long. And so hit the phones. It's usually never really in any order. Expireds for sell by owners. I'm not a big thing of just do the expireds the day they happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. The odds of, I'm sure your odds increase if you hit the expireds that morning, but your odds also increase that if they are going to list, then, they're going to land up either with the agent they were with before, or they're going to land up with someone like you who closes hard on them. And, even closing on that appointment, don't get too many of those because they're just overwhelmed. Yeah. So I find that the expireds and for sell by owners scenario is usually about 2 or 3 weeks into it. That's when they're kind of, the smoke is settled from all the chaos. And if they are thinking about it, they're thinking about it then, but their immediate reaction is just, no, I'm done. Shut up.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you treat your expireds and fizzles like me? I just have in Mojo a database of expireds and a database of FSBOs. I'm like, I'm going to call expireds. So I just start calling that list. And it could be old FSBOs, it could be new FSBOs, it could be whatever. It's just, I got like 500 FSBOs in there, so I just start calling them, right? I don't care how new or old they are. Is that kind of how you treat them, or?
I treat it like that and then some. I found, and this is just almost recently, that I found that the more you segregate lists and separate things to do, the less that things get done, because you're always juggling these like specifics instead of just saying, I'm going to call, hit call instead of, I think I'm going to hit expires. And you're like, you sit through the list. And sometimes if you're going through that same list looking for old and new expireds, they don't answer, you know, and it's this regurgitation of like the same list that ultimately you'll get this core people never answer. And so you're killing all this time waiting for someone to pick up. Same with for sell by owners, where I've literally over the last 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say, have just taken everybody with a phone number and put them into Mojo, and I just say dial. So I have no idea who's going to answer the minute that they answer. So if it's and I can see the history with Mojo and say, oh, there's an expire. And so I'll break in, but my scripts are very similar across all 3 of those anyhow. If you've heard any of my shows, they're very identical with for sell by owners and expireds. There's not that much difference from the cold call. You know?
So what time are you starting those calls at?
I'd like to say around 9, ultimately, with all the fires and embers that are burning from, you know, just the morning and whatever happens. By about 10, I'd like to be on the phones and take a lunch break, you know, around 12 or 1. Again, I work out of the house and I got my wife here. So it's a very, very different type of schedule. I have a structure, but it's more of me jumping in and out of that, you know, and that's probably why I could double my business if I really went down into it. But I'm having too much fun, man. You know, I'm enjoying a lot of the other things that I know when I'm 60, I'll be like, dude, why did I kill myself over this? You know?
Yeah, seriously.
I'll never be this young again.
That's part of where I'm at. I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, I can easily make $400,000 a year working 4 days a week, but it's like, why do I want to kill myself to go and double or triple my business with, you know, a lot of these agents I speak with or interview, I mean, they're working until like 8, 9 o'clock at night or on Saturdays. You know, I never work Friday, Saturday, or Sunday real estate. I mean, I might take a phone call or 2, but for the most part, you don't see me doing much. You see me doing stuff that I enjoy. You know what I mean? Not that I don't enjoy real estate sales, but through time, you start to evolve and you want to do some other things. And you got kids and you got family and you got, you know what I mean, just whatever you want to do. So you're done by about noon, 1 o'clock. Then what's your afternoon setup?
Daylight savings time. Does that affect you over there? Did they change the sun over there?
Yeah, they change it. Yeah.
You know, so if it's winter time, I usually just stay on the phones, really just to see how the day goes out. I would like to stay on the phones. My ideal is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the phones, 5 p.m. door knock till the streetlights come on. But that is a background scenario. I have a Google Calendar that lays out my real calendar, and then with Google Calendar, you can create like a secondary calendar that you can overlay and remove and add whenever you want. So I have an ideal day that says I'm doing my 3 Ps, preparing, prospecting, or presenting from 9 to 5 p.m. And if nothing calls me away, you know, kids' sports or whatever, then I would door knock till the sun goes down. But otherwise, I try to be on the phones as much as I can when I'm not doing anything else. If I have nothing better to do.
Let me ask you this. What items, because I know you mentioned kids' sports, what things would pull you away from doing those 3 Ps?
My son is a quarterback for high school. And so any game, that's where I draw the line. I don't take them to practice. I go to the game, so I do not miss any game under any circumstance. Events like, for example, tonight, there's the Friday Night Lights is a pretty big thing here in the high school with the football. So although no one's playing there, it's about 5 o'clock. It starts up. I'll go there suited up because my banner's sitting right there, and I'll run into at least 30 people who I know there. So it's just me being James, kind of hanging out, watching the game, socializing. You know, a lot of times it's friends that are there. So I can just kind of hang out with them, talk. And it's very seldom is it business. It's the people who I kind of don't know who say, how's the market? But it's the people that do know. It's really just hanging out and being suited up. And again, having my banner there. And last week they had, it was a homecoming or some event where they had to present an award to the sponsor. So I got to go out on the field with, you know, the local mascot and everything, to the, you know, high five and handshake. And they announce your name in between, you know, rounds or whatever. And that's where I like wave my hands in the air like celebrity style.
Put your hands in the air like you just do not care.
Yeah. I think I'm cool, but I'm probably a dork. But I do it, you know. I just get out there. So really just games and if I've got a long calling session and my eyes are starting to blur kind of thing, I'll go out and run errands with my wife, go to Costco or whatever. And, well, like, you know, today, I go, usually holidays and events, I like to get away. You know, if you do 3 to 4 solid hours of prospecting a day, then you can take the day off from there. And you got to have this internal clock inside of you that's just gut wrenching, that something just doesn't feel right until that happens. And then once you do that, then you can go about your day. But if you can look back at the end of the day and say, yeah, I did all of these things, but if it wasn't filling that funnel, you did it wrong. You know, you got to constantly fill that pipeline. And I don't feel right. And if I don't do it, you know.
Well, what makes it so easy too, I mean, unless you have an appointment where you got to go present and get signatures, I mean, everything's all digital. So you can really do it quickly and easily and still have a lot of time to go to your son's football games, to go and hang out, to do those things. Right. And I come from the belief that our business should support our lifestyle, not our lifestyle support our business. And unfortunately, a lot of agents in this industry, their business is not supporting their lifestyle. Their lifestyle has to support that. You know, it's funny. This one gal I was talking to, she's like, don't you ever just, like, you know, 11 o'clock at night, you just get a phone call and you just have to handle it and deal with it? I'm like, no, never. Like, why would you ever handle a phone call at 11 o'clock at night? You're retarded. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that it's just not all about the business for you. Cause for me, it's about lifestyle for sure.
Yeah. And I'll admit, I do get those calls at 11. Well, I'm not awake at 11, so it just doesn't happen. You go to sleep before they can call you and you shut off your phone. But a lot of times I'll be like 6 o'clock in the morning getting ready to go work out, and I'll get a call and I'll answer like, "Oh, James, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Look, my line is, if I answered, I'm working. How can I help you?"
Yeah.
What's that? If I don't answer, you know, there's that button's that easy, unless it's a fire. But if you're putting out fires all the time, you're doing something wrong, you know?
Yeah.
They shouldn't come up that often. You're not giving your clients enough preparation as to how it works. I mean, I've seen agents go out there and say, "These are my hours, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. You won't find me here," you know, or it won't happen. They'll respect your time if you kind of let them know, here's the process, here are the steps that we're going to go through. If we get any showings, we'll have any activity, any feedback. I mean, I use, showing time as a service for coordinating feedback and followings or showings on the houses. So they get that feedback. I don't have to do that. They see it. We can have a conversation, but they never really interrupt my day inappropriately. So
well, I mean, it's all about setting that clear expectation.
Exactly.
And then, I mean, 2 books that I always recommend read is Raving Fans and I just forgot the other one, E-Myth, because you got to create these systems in place that simplify it to keep them educated and keep them informed and keep them feeling good along the process.
Right.
Because you got to deliver world class. I mean, it's just part of being a great salesperson that wants to succeed. So let's go to Tommy. I've seen a couple of things on your YouTube lately, doing some live prospecting calls. Are you prospecting inside of your like travel prospecting van, or like what is that, man?
Yeah, it's a big Mercedes Sprinter, a totally kick-ass machine. It's a big Mercedes Sprinter, and I had it converted inside, so it's actually got an office, captain's chairs, hardwood floors, flat screen TV. I mean, it's more posh than my office in here or any office anywhere. And I'm out there. If I really want to get out and be in silence in an area where all my doodads and nothing's bothering me, and I want to get out and prospect, I can sit there and relax, and the audio quality is good. And I got a mobile office. It's a mobile real estate office on wheels.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
That.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I know.
I'm going to do a video one day on it.
Yeah, I want to see that because I saw you. I'm like, what the heck is he calling?
He's in the backseat of his car.
Tell us about. I saw too. You had mentioned. I think it was either on Periscope or something. I saw you. Your new book, right? You launched a new book recently.
Yeah.
Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, it's. I would say if Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins and The Secret by Rhonda Burns had a baby, it would be that. That would probably be the closest thing. It teaches you. It's called Life. There's an app for that, and it'll be actually on the market within the next week or two, on Amazon and all those platforms, Kindle, Google Play. It's a book that teaches you how to use like anchoring. I guess the closest way I would say is it teaches you to program apps, imaginary apps in your mind to overcome any obstacle and become a better person and live a better life. You program your mind, you change your life. And I guess you would call it, if you used anchoring and you created these scenarios in an app format in your mind and said, okay, I'm about to overcome this challenge. Here's what I'm going to name the app. And then just like Tony Robbins would teach the anchoring technique, where you anchor yourself into a moment when you're feeling great, so that when you don't feel great, you go back to that moment. So if you're feeling
just pull
down,
up that app. You're like,
you
oh,
pull up the app
that
and you
app.
go, you know what, I'm going to pull up the overcome this obstacle app, or I've got anxiety. I mean, I used to suffer from anxiety for no reason, just because you overthink things. And I had like anti-anxiety, like an antivirus, where it's more like a computer manual for the mind that teaches you how to control your mind so that you can respond to life and improve your quality of life. I mean, it's very different. I've read a lot of books, and I think it's a great book. It's not for everyone, but it's for anyone. So
it's not for everyone, but
really,
it's
you
for
have
anyone.
to be. It's a whole different thing. A lot of imagination and a lot of spirituality without getting religious. But yeah, it'll be available. I'll have to send you a copy. And
yeah,
it's
man,
good.
that's
It's
awesome.
good. Jason Silva, from Shots of Awe. I don't know if you ever watch his awesome stuff. Got him a copy of it. He endorsed it. He's all about that. So I don't know if you ever watch Brain Games.
I've never have.
Oh man, you got to see it. He's got some awesome stuff on YouTube. It's called Shots of Awe, just metaphysical imaginations that relate to the real world, so that you can, again, improve your quality of life, understanding love, understanding sadness, understanding, success. And he liked it. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So what's the game plan for 2016 and James Festini?
Make more calls. Dial in some of my mentors. I think that's one of my biggest flaws, is that I've been following too many leaders and absorbing too many ideas and personalities, and not just letting me be me. Where did I see it the other day? Oh man, now I got to remember it. I might have even dreamt it, but it was someone who was saying that they've seen I'm reading, that's it. It's kind of smarmy to say, but I'm reading this book called The Game, and it's about seduction and instinct.
The Game.
It led me through Brian from DC, and then he somehow inadvertently turned me on to this one PUA, this pickup artist, who inadvertently led me to The Game. And it's not that I'm a happily married man, but the psychology and the way that these pickup artists, these men who make it a game to pick up on women, have also translated it to a psychology that you can influence people to do things. But it led me down this path of learning and understanding. And back to my point of what I'm going to do 2016 is I'm going to try to, now I've seen so many masters and I've studied so many masters that now I'm no longer a student. I can't be a student knowing as much as I know. I've got to now accept that I'm the guru, or my own person and my own teacher. And so I'll listen to those people like yourself, where I say, now that we have these conversations, it's no longer me looking up to someone. It's more of a mutual relationship, like Pablo Picasso and Salvador Dali hanging out at a coffee shop. They're both artists in their own way, but they're both brilliant, in their own medium, and neither one of them have anything to be cynical about each other. And I find that is a common stream when we're out looking for these gurus. We just want to find someone who we connect to, but it's so easy with the internet to get tied into the wrong ones, and then just the whole time be cynical about it, like, this guy must have this, or he's a jerk or something. Just unsubscribe and then follow the 2 or 3 people. So Grant Cardone, I'm going to adopt. I think he's going to be one of the headmasters of 2016, and that is just take no prisoners, and just be powerful about it, and get another book or 2 out. That's my plan.
That's awesome.
But do more consistently.
I want to back up a second. So how far into the book, The Game, are you?
I've gone through it twice. I do Audible.
The book is amazing, by the way. One of my favorite books on planet Earth, and the whole idea of psychology, not only with others, but with yourself. Yeah. I think it's extremely powerful. And the author of that book, Neil Strauss, he just came out with a new book called The Truth. Have you heard about that book?
No, I think I saw a cover of some sort of like emergency switch or something.
Emergency is a different book.
Emergency.
That
Okay.
one's kind of interesting, worth reading, but not like amazing. It's about emergency preparedness and sovereignty
Oh,
and
okay.
shit. But the truth is, so his idea now is because that during this time, the game is based on his 2 years of becoming a loser to become the world's greatest pickup artist, which is an
Right.
amazing story and how he writes. He's a writer for Rolling Stones, an amazing author.
Yeah, which helps.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then he, in this new book, The Truth, it talks about how really that stuff that a lot of pickup artists are doing really takes away from their inner self-confidence and their inner game, and what people should know as far as going into relationships and having relationships. Because
Mm.
now he is a big proponent of monogamy and having a wife and a family and just being really committed. And it's just, I haven't gone through the book, but I did order it and I just read the synopsis. I'm really stoked for it. So I'm glad
Yeah.
you brought
Well,
that
thanks
up.
for turning me on. What's the name of that?
It's called The Truth.
You know what I do? Anytime someone recommends a book, I get it, regardless
Yeah.
how many times, so I got raving fans in The Truth. And so if it's on Audible, I'll hear it. I've got,
Oh, you haven't read
both.
Raving Fans?
No,
Oh,
E-Myth, yeah,
man.
raving fans know. I've got lots and lots of books, but I think I've heard that before, but I just never wrote it down. So
It's like a quick read. You can read it in like a couple hours, but it's amazing as far as, okay, how it's kind of cliche to say, but it's like, how can I give my customers little hugs along the way and just like make them feel good and feel nice? So it's a
right,
great book for
it's a good
sure.
business to pull that off in.
Awesome, man.
You know when you have them.
So what's the units? Do you have a goal for 2016 as far as, or is it more focused on getting some books out?
No, I've always every year I print out my calendar from scratch. I'll take a Google Doc and make little icons and lay out things, and I've got sayings. It's really a custom calendar for myself, a wall calendar. And then on the right hand side of that, there's a list of 1 to 100. And every year I try to get 100 contracts because out of the highest I think I ever got was like 82, but 30 of those will fall apart for whatever, just people change their mind. It happens all the time. Happened yesterday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to hit that 100 contracts. I would like to, when I say contracts, I mean, people signed a document. I don't count buyers' offers as contracts,
Yeah.
but I will count, listings signed and homes that, I close from a buyer side as a contract. And I'd like to do more. It's an amazing market right now. One where if we can put ourselves back to 2010, 11 and how hard it hurt. I mean, I kept my head just barely
Horrible that
enough
was.
water. And I was literally like robbing Peter to pay Paul for a good, 9 months where I'm this top producing agent. And yet I'm like, dude, I don't know where I'm going to eat next month. Jeez. And it's crazy. It's like those celebrities who go bankrupt. You're like, what? Dude, aren't you like at the top of your game and you're broke? How's that? Yes, it's possible, especially in real estate. You had to change your game plan on that. But so if you can go back to that and take advantage of this market with that kind of like nausea from that day and say, you know what, man, it's because it's coming. And don't, I'm not going to be say it's all positive, but I hope it's 10 years. And if I could do 7 years of this in a streak, man, there's money to be made. And we'll look back 10 years from now and say, damn it, I remember that interview with Colton and James, and I should have told my wife to get out of the room. I should have told my kids, I'm sorry I'm not going to practice today. I'll be at the game, and then just burn the candle at both ends, go to bed exhausted, wake up in the morning, get your exercise. That's huge.
Well, definitely right now is the time that some money can be made. And I think the agents watching or following you and me, that managing your money and spending your money properly so the money's working hard for you, versus I can't tell you how many agents that were just crushing it, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And when 8 came around, 9 came around, and 10 came around, it just kept getting worse and worse. They were out of the business. Not only were they out of the business, they were flat broke because they were spending as much or more than they were earning. And to me, your money management, if you can't control managing your funds, I mean, you're just going to resist it, right? It's like that app. You got to put that app in there, manage money, attract more of it, have a lot of it, So there was a question from Jeremy Crit, and just to answer Jeremy's question earlier too.
Jeremy?
Yeah, he just, do you know Jeremy Crit?
Yeah, he's He's out there.
So he's out there.
He asked me questions, and so
he
hey.
asked the question, did you have a coach or training? We pretty much answered that with one of his biggest mentors being Floyd Wakeman.
Yeah.
But he asked the question, what would you recommend a brand new agent to do in the business?
Well, that's why my podcast, hate to plug it for you, but your first day in real estate, it focuses a lot of these coaches and trainers talk about a year into it and having this skill already there. But when it's your very first day, like I got my license, Friday, I hit print. I went to the office meeting Friday afternoon. I signed up with some local broker. Now it's Monday morning. What do I do? It's not like they tell you anything in real estate school to do day one. They say, here's how you stay out of trouble on day 7. They just teach you how to stay out of trouble. You got to get into trouble, dude.
They don't teach you how to get into trouble. They teach you how to stay out of it.
Day 1, absolutely, positively get, this is with a budget or without a budget. That's the big question is how much do you got? Let's pretend we're on Po-Man status on day 1. Get Mojo done. You've got to get Mojo Selling Solutions and get on the phones. And then I would pick up whatever script, there's dozens of them online, but one that will get you speaking to 100 people every day. So when you get, day 1, get Mojo, load all of your contacts in there, scrub it to the do not call list, and then pick up the phone and start hammering through those as fast as you possibly can. And don't expect to go in there and set an appointment and crush it in the first month. Just start collecting maybes. People say go for no. I say go for maybe. Go out there and try to get as many people who say, no, not right now, maybe after the holidays, I don't know, in 6 months. Collect those and then follow up appropriately. If they say maybe, call them a week from now and say, you still thinking about it? We talked last week. You still thinking about it? Maybe. Okay. And try to collect more maybes so that when you go and dial your maybes back again, then your odds increase that you're going to get people who say, yeah, I'm actually talking to agents now. You're like, boom, stop everything you're doing and go. So day 1, pick up the phone. But the first half of the day, if you can get 100 people through, if you can speak to 100 people, hurry up and do that and then go hit the streets. You don't need any fancy marketing pieces. Don't sit down and try to meditate on that. It's Monday, do that on Saturday or Sunday. Go out and do the Monday piece. And that is your business card.
I got to get my website ready before I can call anyone.
You got a Facebook page? Your website's ready. That's it. This website, I'm telling you, man, websites are just, they're more and less useful. I'm getting to the point now where I might just point jamesfestini.com to /James Festini from Facebook and just say, that's me. I sell real estate. What are you going to, you're already looking for houses on other sites. I'm not a search engine. So you want to know more about me? Here's where I live.
So let's say this brand new agent is even mopo than being able to afford the $150 a month for Mojo. What would you tell them to do?
They bought the office bought them business cards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's go knock on the doors.
Okay, so how many doors would you tell them to go knock their first day?
9 a.m. to the street lights coming on, whatever that is.
So let's pretty much say if you're not knocking doors, then you're wasting time because you have no other business. You have nothing else to do. So go knock a lot of doors.
Yeah, people say, okay, go through your past clients, go through your sphere of influence. Okay, here we go. Facebook, log in, post. Hey guys, I'm out door knocking for the rest of the day. If you guys want to get me off the streets and have any real estate needs, invite me over. We'll talk about real estate. Send. Boom. Done. There's your past client sphere of influence marketing out, and then go back to it. And then again, Saturdays or Sundays, if you want to spend money on things, if you got money, there are ways to do it with money, but business card, that's all you need. Business cards, a pair of shoes, a good shave, good haircut, and a decent shirt.
So let's say, Jeremy asked the question, let's say I have $10,000 to start with for the business. How should I spend it?
$10,000. I would probably get my vehicle wrapped. That's one of the biggest things you can do is for name recognition. If you're going to be in the city, get the graphics on your car, regardless of what car it is, get those detailed graphics on there.
What if it's like a 1997 Honda Civic?
Get a good graphic artist to make it look like a kick-ass Fast and Furious Honda Civic,
Get a new car.
Yeah, make it look like a nice, but Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I believe has always been one of those. If you're laying a foundation, you say I've got $10,000, then the question is, how long do you want to be in real estate? You know, do you want to go in, crush it 5 years from now, and then get the hell out? That's a whole different angle than do you want to be there 23 years later, have a wife and kids and have a career that will give you something, and that you can enjoy it. But you don't have to like it. You just have to like doing it just enough so that you can do what you want to do when you're done.
Sure.
So, okay, 10 grand. I would probably, if I had 10 grand, when am I going to get another 10? These are hard questions because when's my next 10 grand coming? How long does this have to last?
Yeah. Yeah.
10 grand, Facebook marketing is pretty good. I don't know if you do any of that, but it's the whole
Very little, but
on the side where it says how much is your home worth. I am involved with Curator, the Curator. If you know Chris Smith, Jimmy Mackin, they have a company that does. They do my website. My website is absolutely gorgeous and crosses platforms.
It is a pretty awesome.
Yeah,
website.
It's a good looking website, man. They're $1,200 a month. And then $500 a month that you spend towards Facebook marketing. So you got this budget that you put on the side of local people that say, how much is my home worth? And they click on that and they put their name, number in. But I'll be honest with you, those are just, depending on your level of aggression that you can follow up with these people, they are local leads that you can call on. But there's nothing you can do with that 10 grand that is going to get you a paycheck within the next 60 days. Do you know of anything that would do that more than?
No, the only thing that I would say is go knock some freaking doors.
Yeah,
if you're brand new, just go knock doors, make phone calls, and go to fearlessagent.com as well and get started with a good training program. Realistically, and there's a lot of different programs out there, and don't go break your pay. I think it really is silly personally, and this has come from me, to go drop $1,000 a month on a coaching program. Some agents have been successful with it, like my friend, BC's done. He was good. AJ Minus, 6 months into it, he did it, right? I've been there before. I've spent that kind of money. But to get started, dude, I was living in my parents' basement, right? And so to me, I needed a program that could teach me, but that I could still figure out how to borrow enough money from someone to even pay for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you got 10 grand, I would say kind of spend it in some education. Spend it on budget education, spend it on training education, spend it on money management education, and then make sure you have some reserves, because this is a lag business. You're 60 to 90 days out before you get first paycheck, assuming you get something together in that first 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Which you can do, by the way. Don't think you can't do that. It's definitely, in fact, I encourage you to get it in the first 30 days and just kill it right off the bat.
Yeah, if you go out and speak to 100 people on the phones and then speak to 100 people at the door every day, 5 days a week, go ahead and throw in Saturday, 6 days a week, you will fall into someone saying yes. You can get a contract signed if you got the skills, which goes back to getting your education. And really, we all want to look into training ourselves for what might happen instead of what will happen. And I coach very few people, and because I get it, I tell them what they need, and then that's really all there is. There's no next step. It really is just repeat the basics. Go out there, get in there. The next thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, yes, I'm interested. What's the next step? Schedule an appointment, get them the contract. What's the next step? Get it on the market. What's the next step? Present the offer, and then communicate and close it. That's it. There's maybe 5 real steps. It's like, well, what if I get this objection? What if I get that objection? Don't worry about it. Don't role play it in your imagination. Get to the door. Go knock. Go pull up. Okay, you want to be the poor level guy? Go pull up the last 50 expireds and go get in your car. And if you can hit 10 of those a day, go knock on their door. They probably won't answer. So it's a long shot to think that people are going to be at the door and hit it that way. But follow up with those people.
Yeah, but even go knock that door and then knock the 15 doors around that door.
Yeah,
right?
Just hit the doors, man. That's the fastest. Man, I'm telling you, when the market hit the fan and I had hit rock bottom and there was really nothing anywhere else to do it. I mean, I could pick up the phone, but people weren't answering their phone. They were in foreclosure. They were avoiding their phone. Half of them were on cell phones, but now they can't afford their cell phone, so that's off. And so really the only thing I could do is tie my laces and hit the doors. And literally I could recall the moment where it was just like the first day where I decided to get back out on the streets and hit door knocking. And that afternoon, someone's like, yeah, actually, I am thinking of selling, you know, and boom, next thing you know, I got a contract, and one thing after another. You can get a solid lead every day by hitting the doors. It's
single day.
Every day. It's the fastest. I'm such a huge fan of door knocking. I don't do it enough because I don't know. I like to procrasticate.
That I freaking hate knocking doors, dude. I've done it. I did it for 2 years in Brazil, dude. I'm done knocking doors, man. BC does it though. He knocks doors every freaking day.
Yeah, I'm inspired by him and that he does, you know, at least an hour or two a day. That's pretty cool. I have a little Bluetooth earbud, so for me, I'm listening to books and Audible, and so it's not even that's secondary. Kind of like when I'm cold calling, I'm not calling, I'm watching Netflix and like binge watching for 6 hours as I'm calling, and as someone
that's
pops
a new
on.
hashtag. That's a new hashtag. Instead of Netflix and chill, it's Netflix and prospect.
Yeah, Netflix and prospect.
Want to do a little Netflix and call later on?
Yeah, Netflix and cold call, and you can be there for seriously watch a season of Californication, like 7-hour prospecting. Like, man, why do I? You know, it'll hurt. You can prospect yourself ill. You know,
so
but repeat.
We got to wrap it up. I want to say thanks for coming on, James, today. Where can everyone find you? I know you're on the internet everywhere. So where can they best find you?
You know, just whatever medium they're most comfortable. If you're a Twitter person, James Festini. If you're a Facebook, James Festini. If you like to, you know, search on the internet, James Festini. Google Plus, it just find my name in whatever platform you want to find me. I'm tied into all of them. You know,
James Festini, and check out his website because it is actually pretty cool. It's inspiring. James Festini.
Nice. And then the podcast, you know, I have a podcast that Train is in, and I'm totally stoked on your podcast, Colton. I just don't understand how it's been out for so long and I missed it. So we got to talk about figuring out how to get this thing a little more aware.
I know. Hey,
I'm
we should be like
podcast listener.
It is on Stitcher. It is on Stitcher, by the way. I talked to my virtual assistant. He's like, yeah, I got it on Stitcher, and I had him go change the name from Colton Lindsay to Winning the Inner Game. So hopefully that worked. Like, honestly, I'm engaging more and more into the social media and all these technology things that I've held out on for so long. And I'm just like throwing noodles at the wall, and whatever sticks, whatever doesn't, I guess it doesn't stick. So I'm just like trying to learn it at the same time.
Well, no, podcasting is one of them. And I just found out that Google Play has just adopted more in podcasting. So that's huge.
All podcasts will be on Google Play, so we're going to figure that out and get up on Google Play as well. So appreciate you guys watching. Go check out James Festini. He's a rock star. I love everything that he's doing right now, and I love the idea of your first day in real estate. And I think the biggest thing, and I know you know this as well, James, Floyd Wickman always taught this: stay young in this business. What he means by that is have that excitement every single day, because you can get worn down from this business, but you can keep that energy up like it's your first day, like you're ready to just freaking go kill it and knock 100,000 doors. If you can do that every single day, you'll make an amazing income in this business. Yeah. Appreciate you guys watching the show. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be even doing these because no one would watch them. I'd probably still do them because I like talking to cool people, but I still appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to check out fearlessagent.com. Some awesome things going on there. And Mojo Sells is one of the tools you guys got to get. You can go to my website, winningtheinnergame.com as well, and get my audio files that are out there. If anyone goes there, use the promo code 5050WIN. You get them for half price on my website. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later, James.
Thanks, Colton. Take care.